Finishers MMA, finishersmma.com, at Finishers. That's how you find them on social media. These guys have a show with us every Monday called Now We Go. You can check it out. Zach, JM, Thor, Grace, there's too many to name that come out of that school, and they are killers in the game. They are the biggest MMA jiu-jitsu school in the area, and they are owning the East Coast. You can contact them at 610-438-0746. Ask for Andrew. They are at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. They have 2 locations as of now, Bethlehem and Allentown. They are growing into 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say they are taking over, but they already have. Check them out on all of their social media. They are awesome to follow. And if you're looking to get in shape, you're looking to choke people, you're looking to do anything at all to better your life, finishersmma.com. AllValleyRooter.net. That's not how you pronounce it all the time. I just say it that way. All Valley Rooter, Jared LaBarba. He is my plumber. He's the show's plumber. I'm getting him plumbing business all over, and I love that he is getting what he wants. He has 24-hour emergency service. He is certified, insured, and professional. You can follow him at All Valley Rooter. He's on social media, and you can find his information at allvalleyrooter.net. Jared came down over the weekend and he fixed a problem down here. He's super professional. I love him as a person. I love his business. He grew it and he's doing his own thing. It's allvalleyrooter.net. It's 24-hour professional plumbing services. He can help you out with everything you need. It's 610-762-1656. He's certified, insured, and professional. Do not be afraid to contact him for any of your plumbing needs. Support Jared. Jared supports us. Luke Delmeyer Handmade Custom Knives. I love Luke. It's lukedelmeyer.com. He's a farrier, a bladesmith, and a blacksmith. He has custom knives, and the best part about it is you can take classes to make them. So not only can you take a class to learn how to make knives, at the end of the class, you get that knife. We're working on a project together. He started recently getting into chef knives, so he's starting to make chef knives. He makes hunting knives. He can make any of your needs as far as blacksmithing. That's at Luke Delmeyer on Instagram. That is the best way to follow him. You can see all the stuff that he's posting, he shares, he does raffles, he gives giveaways. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. We've had him on the show before. You can dig down in the library, listen to how he got started and where he's at now. I'm excited to work with Luke. He's a really good friend of the show, and I'm excited to showcase his chef knife that he's making me. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. Farrier, bladesmith, blacksmith. Rips Auto Detail. This guy is the best, hands down, in the area. I've interviewed him. I know his story. He's doing things that others aren't, and I love that he fucks with the show. I love getting the best of the best and having them support and be a part of this. That's what the sponsorship is for. I'm giving you the best people in their profession, and Rips is the best at auto detail. It's at Rips Auto Detail for Instagram. You follow that. He's showing you the different cars he does, and it's at 630 North Nelson Street in Allentown, PA. He offers paint correction, ceramic, SPS coatings, and more. This is appointment only, and it's ripsautodetail@gmail.com. You can call him at 484-553-1366. I tell you, follow him. If you don't know, you want to know more about what he does, follow him on Instagram. Follow Rips Auto Detail, and you can see all the things that Rip does. He's a big part of the show. We have a separate show we do called Road Dogs, and you can check out his past interviews and hear his whole story. I couldn't recommend this guy more for your auto, car, boat, plane. This guy literally has done everything, and he is the best in the area doing this. Rips Auto Detail.
Zach Meslani now making his way to the stage. Meslani in the black and white. 666 expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
That's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. It's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a
great technique.
It's 10th Planet Bethlehem.
What up, everybody? Big Uncle Zach here. Zach's Corner Podcast is Bizak in your ear hole. Episode numero, I have no idea, but we're up there. We're over 50. We got to be up in the 60s. Yeah, we might even be in the 70s. So I'm really excited to be back. Podcast
70s. Last one was 69.
There you go. That's right. Last one was a number 69. Now we're up to number 70. So that's really dope, man. Doing my own podcast. I'm excited to be back doing it. I was in Austin for 5 days, which is the longest I've ever had to be away from my son, even though he's 2 months old. He's 3 months old today, which is awesome. So big ups. I want to say a happy 3-month birthday to Lorenzo Joseph Maslany. Also, too, I think I might be. You think I'll be one of those dads that's like, that says, "My son's 75 months old," or what is that?
I hope George will go by like my son is 62 minutes.
Yeah,
75.
3 days. He might do something like that, but no, it's really exciting. He's starting to like really wake up. He has a hard time sleeping during the day, but he's sleeping at night, which is good. So that helps us out. But man, so much stuff to talk about. I actually wrote some stuff down. So let me check into it right now. Oh yeah. So I wrote down podcast. That was number 1. And then, since we were in Texas, man, who's number 1? So if you guys don't know, most of you guys should have done, if you follow me on the gram or on YouTube, you can see some of Quentin's work, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But so we had to go back to Austin, Texas, stay at the JW Marriott, and shout out to Flow Grappling and Michael Sears, everybody over there that really. That Reed and all the guys, they followed us around for like a couple of days. Literally, we got there Wednesday. Not only did we bring, and this is how smart we are, not only did we bring Quentin, our in-house finishers, he's a blue belt, and he's also, he's been training with us for a while, and he's also been documenting a lot of our stuff. Now, Ross, you guys know Ross the Boss, he's been documenting a lot of stuff too. He's always been taking pictures and stuff like that. But we got Quentin, who's our guy who, I always knew, once I met him and started seeing some of his stuff, I'm like, damn, this guy's creative. And just like how I have conversations with you, Mike, having conversations with Quentin, and a lot of people, just trying to motivate him because I knew how good they were, and I just wanted him to be able to go and do his own thing. And, everybody knows the story of Quentin. He was working at Best Buy. You got to get him on the podcast. He was working at Best Buy.
I'm trying, man. He's busy.
I know he's booked. That's the problem. Now he's making too much money, making too many moves. No, that's good. That's great for him. He was working at Best Buy. Now he works way more than he did when he was at Best Buy, but he's just literally walking around with a camera, and doing what he's good at doing. Like he's filming. He just put out a whole documentary on his Instagram. He's making a little documentary on our trip and about Grace, and the whole 9. So Flow Grappling is also going to be putting out a whole like a mini doc on Grace, basically like a movie on her. They said that's what Mike Sears told me, which is crazy because having Quentin along, and man, if you go on my YouTube, which I know a lot of you guys might be watching this on YouTube, watch the Who's Number 1 finishers files, day 1 and then day 2 and 3, and then he's also got footage from the day of the competition that hasn't been released yet. So wait till you see that shit. Yeah, I also have a video that I could drop tonight of Grace from Finishers 10 that he made up, and I got a Renee video. Honestly, if you guys, dude, there's so much stuff that I got to let people know about. If you're into cool shit, and you're into jiu-jitsu, and you're into us, and maybe you train at the school. I mean, I really just started this podcast just to talk to the people at the dojo, because a lot of times I only get like 15 minutes to talk to guys, and then it's just straight jiu-jitsu because we only got so much time. So I don't get that much time to talk to everybody, and it's impossible, especially with having a son, calling everybody during the day and being able to be on the phone. There's only so many people I can talk to at once. So this is another way I can talk to you guys. A lot of people at the dojo don't even know about Who's Number 1. Most people do, but in the beginner class, a lot of those people, I remember one time I was teaching class and I was looking around, it was like a fundamentals class back in the day, and there was probably like 25, 30 people in class, and I was like, how many of you guys have ever heard Eddie Bravo? And it was like, half the class, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So there were a whole bunch of people that, you're training at 10th Planet, you're training at a local place. You don't know anything about me. Most of the time, I feel like people, I don't know if they're looking into it or not. I really don't. Some people come in and they're like, oh, I watched all this guy's videos, or I looked up Grace and I saw you guys were in town, stuff like that. which is really cool. And it's crazy. We've been places like one time we were eating breakfast in Portland and someone recognized Grace and someone was like, "Hey, are you Grace Gundrum or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I watch all your stuff on UFC Fight Pass." I'm like, "Dang, that's crazy." I'm like, and then JM asked the guy, "Do you do jiu-jitsu?" And he's like, "No, I just watch jiu-jitsu online." So that was crazy. So like people recognizing her and, I don't even know what I was just talking about. Honestly, I know I was talking about who's number one. Quentin following us around, quitting his job. That's freaking dope. And then, dude, the amount of stuff now that we have and just the love that Flow Grappling gave Grace. So cool. She's basically like a star. People recognize her. If it's like a jiu-jitsu type thing, I mean, people are just in town. People know who she is, and she is number 2 in the world, obviously. But, right from when we got off the plane, they were at the airport filming us. It was crazy. It was like, and then Quentin's filming too, filming the guys filming, which is really dope, which I sounds funny, but it is awesome because he's documenting. Like, it's crazy. Like, Flow Grappling is doing their own documenting because they're running an event, okay? And then Quentin is filming the experience, like our experience. Like, the one morning he had me sleeping and he's waking up, we're in Austin, and then, like, the way he puts it together, then I'm, like, picking up Grace's rash guards and stuff like that. So that's the thing. Like, here's a business move.
He can naturally tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool to watch. When I saw him drop, which was because I think I might have texted you or I talked to him when he got back. I was like, dude, you guys are dropping embeddeds.
Yeah, I know.
Like the embedded series for UFC. I was like, I'm like, this is so next level. And how far out that had to be planned and everything is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I honestly I paid for his plane ticket and then I just told him to do what he does. Like, I didn't tell him, like, yo, make sure you get this or you make sure, you know what I mean? Like how some guys try to micromanage him.
Absolutely.
I'm like, look, the guy's a beast. I'm just going to let him do his thing. Whatever he gets, he gets. He'll make something cool out of it. And even if he didn't make anything cool, he's just recording the whole thing. Ross had his camera there too. So like there's footage, unreleased footage, like super unreleased footage. Like they have a Dropbox and then they have like a drive or whatever where they upload shit. Like, and then Sean, dude, this is how deep the Finishers Archives goes, dude. It's like the Vatican archives. Sean, like we have all these podcasts that are out there, right? And then Sean, who does all of our he does a lot of stuff for me, dude. He's basically like a multimedia consultant designer, and the same thing. I trust him. Like I give him pointers because I have to tell him like what is going on with jiu-jitsu, but that guy gets it, and he's doing a great job. So hire his ass, and same with Quentin, man. If you could get either of those guys, they're busy dudes, but I'm sure they're always taking more work. But, like Sean and talks to Ross. So like they're talking, they're like putting together like, he's got shit. And then these guys got shit. Now they're like all coming together. And that's what's cool about these guys working together because it's all same team. No one's like, oh man, like fighting over footage and stupid shit like that. And, I know Flow Grappling gets a bad rap or people talk shit on Flow Grappling, and I'm not gonna lie. When I was in my younger days, I talked shit on Flow Grappling too. But the reason why is because back in the day, it wasn't like it is now. They didn't have the same people running it. Back in the day, you weren't allowed to film anything with your phone. If you were filming something, they were taking it away. And I'm like, that's the dumbest business move ever. No one's gonna just pay $300 a year if you can't have. I understand they want to control their content, and I would be cool with. If people are resharing it though, isn't that the point? If people are stealing it and putting it out before you get a chance to put it out, I can understand that because you're the one who's putting all the money into having the footage and all that shit. But if you're not allowing people to film or take pictures and you're not allowing people to, repost when you post something, it's gonna hurt the brand. But they don't do that now. Like at Who's Number One, they let people put up everything because Flow Grappling's putting it out online. People are gonna buy the excitement of it and seeing something crazy happen and getting sneak peeks or submission finishes of some matches. People will buy it midstream. Like there'll be a guy who doesn't give a shit, and Saturday you're like, oh man, this is going on right now. Just because they saw something shared on the Instagram, they might buy it. You got to let people know. So I think they changed things around, and add in Mike Sears in. He's the man. Like he's killing it. Like coming up with ideas and getting the best guys to fight each other. That's the thing. Grace won $16,000. Like, she won $16K. That's insane. I won like 200 at jiu-jitsu. I mean, some people here win a finishers 2,500. Maybe you win an EBI, but you got to go through hell and you won 10K or something like that. She won $16,000. And not to mention, some people got 30. Like my Sebastos got 30, and then Grace got 16, and then third place got 7,500. They're throwing, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, third place gets more than you'll ever make, ever, unless you're one of the top guys that's going to win EBI. Speaking of EBI, it's back, which is really cool. I'm glad that he brought it back. That's important. It's cool to have more sub-only tournaments. There's more opportunities for guys to make a name, more opportunities for people to have jiu-jitsu as a career, and the better everyone else does, the better I do. The more that jiu-jitsu blows up, the better it is for my business. You guys get that? Like, Nelson from Inverted Gear, he's opening up like a predominantly gi school in Allentown. I don't care. That's good. They're going to get people who they're going to get. They're going to get a lot of gi people, and they're going to get people who live in that area. But the people that want to train with Thor and train with, those guys are going to train with him. The people who want to do gi over at Nelson's going to do there. And they might do both. Nelson and his wife, Hillary, train here. They just had a kettlebell seminar over the weekend. They just left me a kettlebell, which is awesome. I got to hit them up and say thank you for that. I wasn't able to make it, but it's better when you work together. You're just raising the community. You're raising everybody else. Everybody's getting pumped up from that. That's why we love having the tournaments. And like, it's not like, you don't have, you could definitely be fired up and have your rivalries and stuff. But like, dude, everyone at some point, it's better if we all work together because there's more money, I feel like, and there's more people as long as the government doesn't totally fuck it up. We'll see. Because they're getting close. So I don't even know what's going on with that. I haven't been paying attention, but it was man, what a crazy experience. And like I said, Flow Grappling paid for everyone's flights. They paid for hotels. They had food, for the athletes. They did like a whole press conference. I mean, the people who are in that are blowing up off that. They're getting big rep off that. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. And I like the way that Mike has it. Like, his thought is he wants to blow up jiu-jitsu. They want to blow up no-gi jiu-jitsu. It's exciting and they want to make it mainstream. Eddie Bravo's been trying to do that forever. Perfect. Both those guys running shit, and then you got Sam running the Emerald City, and then you got the Underground Finisher Sub Only, which is going down, Finishers Open 7, which is going to be going down November 21st here at live on YouTube here from Finishers HQ. Anyone can sign up. We're also going to be doing the 185-pound Emerald City qualifier. I'm really excited about that. So we'll see who's going to jump in that, trying to get in. And Emerald City's EBI rules just like EBI, and it's I don't know how much this one is. I think the last one, $10,000. Like, the more tournaments, the better. I don't want to have to pay people all that money. So Flow Grappling, Sam, Eddie, Mike Sears throwing, Hollywood Mike throwing dough around. Perfect. That's good. I'll have people are like, oh, well, wouldn't you be, you want to run the finishers too? Yeah, we're happy with what we're doing. We're running the open scene. We're still going to have pro tournaments and stuff. And the more tournaments, the better. Dude, nothing more than, even because I traveling is cool. And when we're involved in like someone like Grayson Thor is competing, and we're winning big dough. But what's really cool is when I'm just chilling at home with my son and, Emerald City's on and my guys are reffing it and I get to watch like fucking 6 hours of jiu-jitsu, I think that's awesome. And then someone's getting paid. That's what's dope. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get everybody paid. We're trying to blow up, right? I want to be a limousine riding, jet flying, Rolex wearing, gator shoes on my feet. Dude, have you seen, did you watch that one I sent you, the Ric Flair?
The back and forth.
The
between
woo
the two
off.
of them?
Yeah.
That guy, he had his impression dead on.
Oh, that guy was great. He's like, and just to let you know, it's easier to jump on than it is to jump off. And then Ric Flair's like, that's my line. That's my line. He's like, and I'm cutting you off. You can't cut me off. And they're just both going back and forth. He's like, show me something. He takes his shoe off. Yeah. He's like, $500 for this shoe. He's like, dude, Ric Flair. How about, did you watch that thing? The, Dark Side of the Ring. It is called the latest one. Maybe it's not the latest one, but the one they put out was they're trying to cancel Ric Flair. Some people are, because you know, he did some crazy stuff. He was walking around naked with his robe on and just swinging his wiener around. And, you know, they said he assaulted some women, which isn't funny. You know, that's fucked up if he did that. But, I mean, dude, at the time, it was crazy. It's like right now, he's an old guy. Like, what are they going to do to him? Yeah, he was a dickhead back in the day, and he was crazy. They were doing halcyon bombs. They call them H-bombs. I've never heard of that shit. Where they fucking drink that and then just, dude, like, what happens is when you drink it, you don't remember anything and crazy shit happens. Like, why would you take that? Why would you take that and then drink copious amounts of alcohol on top of it? So I guess you just want to see what's going to happen. Just figure it out the next day, like Hangover movies or some shit. But it's called wait, what was the name of that one? Oh, Plane Ride from Hell. Yeah, did you hear about that one?
No.
So the wrestlers, yeah, look that up on Dark Side of the Ring. If you haven't watched this yet, everybody, a lot of guys from the dojo have. Sid and all the guys here, Quentin, we were watching a lot of wrestling stuff. But the Plane Ride from Hell basically was WWE guys got done doing a whole show or a series of shows overseas. So they were leaving Germany, flying back to the United States, and they chartered a private plane for all the people who work in the WWE, all the wrestlers, the announcers, you know, the ring girl, all the whole nine, you know, everybody on it, right? So what happened was they started drinking, obviously, because it's a private plane, and it's usually, and I'm pretty sure about this, but I'm pretty sure when you fly across seas, it's free alcohol. Like if you're on one of those planes, like you could drink alcohol the whole time. It used to be. I don't know if they've changed that, you know, but if it was like a overseas flight, you could, you know, you could drink alcohol for free or something, right? But I imagine if you have a private plane, it's free alcohol. Like they paid for the whole plane. So it doesn't even matter. The wrestlers are rich. I mean, Ric Flair is on the freaking, you know, they were making dough out the ass. So they were over there for like a week or two, flying back on the plane. It stays on the tarmac for 7 hours. Yeah. So they they ordered another liquor cart. And they're like, the ladies never heard of someone ordering a liquor cart. Like they finished the liquor cart. She's like, at first we were serving the wrestlers. And then eventually they just took over and they were serving themselves. And you're talking about Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. You're talking about JBL, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar and Mr. Perfect had a takedown contest, and they were Mr. Perfect was messing with everybody, and Brock Lesnar tackled him inside the plane while they're over the water, and they would have had to, if they busted the door open, they would have had to make a emergency landing in the water. They were ramming, they were breaking shit. Like there were a bunch of guys that they interviewed, and I guess Ric Flair was doing some crazy shit, but they tried to cancel him. But I don't think you can cancel Ric Flair. Like he was just a maniac back in the day. So I've been watching a lot of Ric Flair stuff, but that woo off with the guy's name is Jay Lethal. Yeah. He basically, I've never seen that guy until Sid showed it to me.
Same.
But he came out. What organization is that? TNA, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even think they're around. I don't even know if they're around anymore.
Are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. So he just came out and he started doing Ric Flair.
He sounded exactly like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly like.
He was doing Ric Flair 80s to Ric Flair. And every time, like in the beginning when he was talking longer, he's like, the 4 horsemen took a dump.
That's exactly what Ric Flair would have said.
And then they just keep showing his face closer, and he's like, he's like, woo, 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 woo. And then he does he's doing you want to see something? Where he just does the elbow to the, I was doing it in the back. Yeah, and there's another one that I put on my Instagram that was funny too, that I forgot about, that Sid showed me, where in one time in WCW, now imagine back in the day, you tune in WCW to watch some wrestling. And an hour of a 3-hour show is just wasted by Ric Flair being drunk in the ring, like going crazy. And every time he'd be in the ring, he eventually just started this thing where he would just start taking all of his clothes off.
Yeah.
Did you see He'd just take his coat off. He's like, listen, Mean Gene, Eric Bischoff. And then he's like, hold on. And he starts taking it off. And he's like, so whoever was commentating, whether it was JR or if it was Jerry the King Lawler, he'd be like, oh, there goes the laundry. Taking the shoes off, throwing them in the crowd. And then the guy started, how about that Jay Lethal guy started doing it? He's like, hold on. He's taking his shoes.
He had the mannerisms just down so well.
Yeah. He's like, you're mad because they closed Space Mountain years ago. He's like, hold on. Oldest ride, longest line. Woo! He's like, don't start that with me. And they just keep going back and forth. He's like, I could kiss every girl in the crowd, even that fat one right there.
Yeah.
And he just points out to the crowd.
Some fat shit.
Yeah. Ladies. Woo! Now I could see how nowadays he would totally get canceled because you can't do that. Like nowadays, you're not even allowed to think like a girl is hot and you're getting canceled or something. You know what I mean? So I imagine he couldn't get away with that. But the one with Mean Gene, he was down to his boxers. They're like, he's in his boxers. Then he just runs, bounces off the ropes, drops an elbow, and then runs back and then starts talking again. Dude, how does he have the energy, to be honest with you? Like, how could he do it? Ric Flair is like, you know, I was thinking about this too. Like, I was looking at some old pictures since I'm like looking at pictures of my son. When Ric Flair, when I was like 6, Ric Flair was old. So, how old is he now?
He's still doing stuff. Remember, he came out at the Jake Paul fight and was a part of that slap contest. I was like, Ric Flair's here.
Oh yeah, they had a.
It was the first time for the big Triller fight.
Yeah, they had the
I think when he fought Ben Askren.
what's the chop contest, right?
Yeah, it was like the slap off, and then they were like, you always run into those scrolling through the internet. You just see Russians slapping each other.
Did he get hit or was he hit?
No, like he brought that because it was so crazy. That first
they spent
Triller
so
was
much
so
money.
insane. So like out of nowhere, they were like, "Hey, we're cutting backstage to Pete Davidson, who's with Ric Flair, who's doing a slap off contest," and you're like, "You just felt like you were on acid."
Yeah,
and then
like,
it just
what?
then they're in this like back alley, and they got a forklift up, and then these guys are slapping each other, and Ric Flair's hosting it, and then it goes back to boxing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Actually, it's a good idea.
They probably, but I mean, the money he gets for probably showing up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Ric Flair right now, though, a lot of those old wrestlers, bro, I don't know how much. I mean, how much could they pay? I bet they offer him like, I mean, what could they pay him? 10 grand?
No, he probably gets real money to show up to that shit.
Maybe. I don't
He's
know.
still
He has
pulling,
to.
man.
Flair. And when we come back from commercial break, I'm going to be naked. You know, then he like handcuffed himself to the ropes and was like throwing kicks at people and
Yeah,
shit.
I forgot he used to get completely nude. He was probably just drunk out of his mind. Like,
hold on. And he would just take first the shoes would come off, then like he'd
always
take
would
his pants
handcuff
off,
himself to the fucking ropes.
do the elbow drop to nothing. They're like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Woo! And then some of the old ones are insane. Like it was basically would waste a half hour, 40 minutes of him just, what about this one? Cause I'm a 60-minute man, baby. He's like, you don't know nothing about 60 minutes, neither in the bed or in the ring. Woo! See, again, saying that would probably get him canceled. But I was listening to like some stuff with him where there was they did a 30 for 30 on him on ESPN.
I do want to watch that. I heard it was good.
Yeah, he's talked some crazy shit. He said one time he was they made him go see a sports psychologist because they thought he was going nut, he was going crazy or whatever. And he was like, the guy was like, how many times do you masturbate a day? He's like, 2, depending on where I'm at. And he's like, how many drinks? And he's like, well, I drink like 10 beers and 4 mixed drinks, 4 vodka drinks or whatever. And he was like, okay, so 10 drinks and 10 beers and 4 mixed drinks a week. He's like, a week? He's like, that's every day. And then the guy was like, what? How is he able to drink that much? And then Flair said that too. He's like, I got to make sure I'm able to, still keep some type of physique. Imagine what he would have looked like if he wasn't drinking like that. I mean, he couldn't have been eating healthy. How the hell? I mean, I guess they were just all on roids. So, and he probably still is on roids. But, now if he does one of those wide open elbow drops, he's going to crush. He's going to like break his elbow or something, So, also, so let's talk about the matches. Thor did awesome, still same thing in the beginning, like Dante Leon, like did a really good job of staying away from him. He did take Thor down twice, but he just wasn't trying to engage till right at the end. And I feel like that really happened the same thing. Grace was pushing the pace on Maestra Bastos. She was, going after her and everything, and she just at the end, like gave up position, and then Maestra just held her. So, and she's a beast. She's got a level 100 impassable guard, and we can come at her with some different things. Eddie's got some ideas, and I do too, and so do the other guys in JM and stuff. So we're gonna work on that, and I'm sure they're gonna see each other again. And Grace, she doesn't have Instagram, so like she wasn't affected by the Facebook Instagram shutdown of 2021. So she doesn't give a shit. Like we're all like so tied into it, making money and doing podcasts and all this stuff that if we don't have it, it's like you gotta really change things around quick, because it's the way to get a hold of everybody. As much as people talk shit on social media, and I wish I could delete it all too and just move into the woods in Vermont. But you can't. Like the business we're in, this is part of it. Part of it is social media. Dude, we got BJJ Fanatics just paid us out a good amount of dough again, and shout out to them. And I saw Mike Zenga at the event too. It was really cool. And it's because we got we got guys doing stuff on the back end. Julio's been working for us, doing all the internet stuff, and that I don't know how to do, like marketing and all that crap. So, and it's helping out a lot, man. So, if you're interested in like doing something for your business, like don't wait till it's too late. Especially while the internet is still allowed, and you're still allowed to think before you start going to jail for thinking. You might want to get your social media together and get your marketing together. Like what else is there? Like going around and handing out flyers and shit like that, and like word of mouth is free. So that like I don't use that as my main thing because it's free. We had to in the beginning when we had $0, but now that we have some money, we invest back in because we're doing DVD things. We're doing DVD things. We're doing the schedule we're sending out. We're doing one deal a month, some type of interesting deal. And then we're just promoting the business, promoting MMA, promoting striking, promoting kids classes, and, how it's good for you and everything like that. And a lot of people are signing up, which is good. And the marketing helps because it just gets more people interested in it, even if they don't sign up right away. And Andrew and Jimbo doing a great job. Everybody's teaching class and everything like that. So you got to invest in something. So if you're interested in that, just shoot me a DM or whatever. I'll hook you up with the guy because it really helped us change the game. Like if not, we weren't doing anything. Like the free stuff is free. So forget that. That works on its own. You have to go out there and actually work for shit. So if one way you could work is just put some of your money that you may not be using or you want to make more of it and invest it back into a thing, because that's the main thing. Like I see a lot of these guys that are just competing, and if they don't win any money, it's tough. Like I don't know how they're getting paid, or their parents are just paying for them, but that runs out eventually. Grace isn't even full time. Jiu-jitsu, she's going to college full time, and Thor owns his own school, and that's the thing. Like me and JM, like we don't have to compete for money. Like we don't have to fight like that. I did before. I did a couple fights specifically for money, and you don't want to be in that situation. You do not want to be in that situation, because if you get fucked up like I did in one of them, then you're out for a while and you can't make money. So how do you and sponsors only last so much, and $6,000 from a fight or whatever, and that's a lot because I had some sponsors and I sold like 100 tickets or some shit. Isn't that much money? When you're super broke, $6,000 is a lot of money. But when you got bills to pay, and you got a car and all types of shit, and you're not living in the back of the gym like I did, then you actually have to try to invest some of your money and not just try to fight for a living. I just did that to get extra dough so I could buy a car. I didn't want to have to fight, but it was fun. It was cool. I'm glad that I did it, and I got some cool footage for the gram. But I mean, it's not, and it was cool for me. But I wasn't trying to go to UFC, so I was backed in the corner. I'm like, how can I make quick money fast? I'm like, all right, I could sell some tickets. Let me go fight again. You don't want to be in that situation. Same with jiu-jitsu, which is even less money. At least in MMA, you could sell some tickets and they might pay you $250, $500, but it ain't much. Here, look, think about it. We have the school, and then sign-ups, reoccurring, memberships is what we really want. So, trying to sign people up, and that's where people really get, some type of help, or they say jiu-jitsu saved my life. So many people into this. There's people fucking moving here, living in their cars, all types of crap, just to be, a part of something cool, and, to be able to have that camaraderie, and also like, you're doing something, you're working out. Like, dude, what else will you be doing? People are just at bars drinking, if that's even allowed, or not, just sitting at home. Like, dude, the suicide rate for people has just been insane. And I've known people, which is sucks. So like you got to do something with your life. I'm not saying you got to be a jiu-jitsu master and go to who's number one like Grayson Thor, but you got to do something. You have to like get be a part of something. Go play softball. Learn. Go to a cooking class. Like, just open yourself up, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I didn't come here and I couldn't work out and I couldn't get out of the house or whatever, I would go nuts. I need this shit. Especially like, I'm freaking hyperactive. I need something to be able to, that's what they used to call kids back in the day. He's just hyperactive. And they're like, now it's like ADD and here's a bunch of pills. Like, yeah, I take edibles, but that's from the earth, and I just go do jiu-jitsu. I love teaching kids class. I have a great passion for that. And it's just like being a part of this, and like, that's why I get emotional when I see like Grace out there throwing down and stuff, because it's like, dude, like, she doesn't even realize how much she's done for us. Like, just being so good and like being so, open to learn and shit. It's nuts. Like, and, yeah. So anyways, I'm just very thankful for that. And, let me go back to, so Thor, the second match though came back for day number 2. And, a lot of guys didn't come back for day number 2. A lot of guys lost day 1 on who's number 1 and then, quit. And then just didn't come back because they were butthurt or they didn't want to lose 2 in a row. Some guys were injured, like Gio legit was injured, but some of the guys, whether they were injured or not, I don't know. So they just, maybe their heart was injured, so they didn't come back for day 2. Thor nutted up, came back for day 2, tapped Jacob Couch, really cool dude from the Daisy Fresh squad or whatever, and Pedigo submission fighting, and it was a great match. Like, Jacob was doing good, and then Thor got him in some of his textbook shit. And then Thor actually hurt his knee playing rubber guard, but he had some sick rubber guard. He was throwing his fucking foot in front, going for gogo platas and stuff. It was gangster. And then day 1 for Grace, I don't know why I went backwards, just because the beginning match, or the last match is, the one that, that Grace was really trying to win. But, it's whatever. She's just like, hey, that's where I got off track. She was just like, afterwards she said she felt like she did better than she did last time. And, she doesn't have to deal with what people are saying because it doesn't matter to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, how we would have to, I'd be online, like seeing like someone on Reddit be like, that guy sucks. And I'd be like, fuck this guy or whatever. Grace has no idea. She don't even know what Flow Grappling's putting out. She hasn't watched any videos or anything. So to her, it's like, whatever, I did a thing and it's over. Experience for her, what's crazy is she don't even look at all the pictures. Like, there's thousands of pictures of her probably. Doesn't look at them. So for her, this is what's crazy. I was thinking about this the other day when I might have been really stoned and I was drinking some whiskey. For her, it's just the experience. There's no, like, let me relive it. Like, you don't relive. She doesn't relive it.
What's weird is, like, that's how we used to grow up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it was back in the day. You experience, like, I remember going on vacation.
I was thinking about that too.
You don't, maybe your parents brought a Polaroid.
There's very little. I mean, I said to my dad, like, there was a time period too where it was like cameras were just getting like better. So it was more annoying and more expensive to have a camera.
Yeah.
So
it's of getting developed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the information age. It's nuts. Like, think about that for Grace. I mean, she has an Instagram, but she don't follow any of that crap. Like, she has like a secret Instagram that she just looks at. I'm not gonna lie, I was creeping her phone. I was looking over her shoulder just to see what she was looking at when we were all stretching out. I was like baking stuff and like baking and anime. So she's not like a normal. She's normal.
She's actually more normal than most people.
Than what people think is normal is what I really meant. Like, people think like it, because all the girls, like, and Mary Jo, her mom said this really cool. All the girls would say something like, I just want to win, so I could, show everybody that I'm number 1 and how good I am and that blah, 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 blah. And then every picture on their Instagram is, about different, way different stuff than what Grace is thinking out, right? And it's not just, I mean, that's what I probably would have been saying too. Like, I'm going to show everybody I'm the best and blah, blah, blah. That's how I would have been thinking. But Grace is different. The way she's thinking is, I think it would be really cool to represent the school and, win some money for college and everything. It's like, dude, you're fucking with a different kind of animal when you're messing with Grace. When you're going against Grace, it's like, because sometimes, like, even me as a coach, like, not that I doubt them, but sometimes, like, damn, this is a big one. Like, can she win this? Like, like, in my own head, like, I always have self-doubts about myself. And, like, I'm like, damn, did I do everything I could for Grace? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll just be like, then I'll see her go out there and, like, I'm just like, wow, she really is a different animal. She's not like everyone else. Her ideas and the way she thinks about grappling is just different. She did come out of her shell more against Jessica Khan. She was wrestling, You know, she was wrestling her and stuff, which is what I was trying to tell her to do, that she could really push the pace on her and scare her a little bit, because Grace is a better wrestler than all these girls, but nobody will actually engage her in the wrestling. She'll fucking throw somebody. She'll, you know, and then she'll win that scramble too. Even if you pick up a single, she's going to win that scramble. And then, you know, she also throws some counter heel hooks on Danielle Kelly, you know, which was kind of cool. Like, she was actually throwing some like leg locks on her, and she actually honey stick Jessica Khan too, if you know what that is. And you know, I will say, they're between Jessica Khan and Danielle Kelly, I really respect those ladies, because you know, they lost, you know, day one, and they came back for day two, you know. And Grace kind of put a clinic on Danielle passing and stuff. She did have some good leg lock attempts, I'm not going to lie, but and then, you know, Jessica Khan, Grace washed her and put her in a twister. You know, but I really have a lot of respect for them, because they came back for day two, and they were obviously butthurt. I mean, dude, I would have been butthurt if I lost too. You know, I would have been like, damn it. Like, because then you're like, best you could do is third, and you're going to have at least 2 more matches tomorrow, and you don't want to lose 2 in a row, because that looks bad. You know, but those girls came back and fought hard, and they both picked up some solid wins the next day, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure. I know Danielle won a match. She had a nice heel hook. And I like them, you know. I like that they came up and did that, you know. And I like what I like about them too. That the knock on Maisa is like Danielle and Jessa will actually go at Grace. Like, they'll try to tap her out, and they'll try to like transition with her, and they'll fight her. Because it's like when you're trying to box someone that doesn't want to box you, it's hard. But if you box, like, if the other person, like when we do live drills in jiu-jitsu, like it'll be like a mount live drill, and like you might know that you can like do one move that works every time, so maybe you do that twice, but then after that you want to like kind of engage the person in a fight. Like, if you, let's say when we do the like guard passing drills, if one person like wrestled in college, they could always just wrestle up and like tackle your legs and take you down at any time. If you know you can do that, great. That's your number one move. That's your strength. But you have to engage the other person in the battle. Let them try to pass your guard, so your guard recovery gets better. Know that you have that ace in the hole, that you'll just slam this dude if you have to. Like, you could always come up on top, but you have to practice your guard recovery in class, you know, because you're trying to get better at it. You're trying to improve a skill. You're trying to get better at something, as opposed to just, you know, not ever get good at that. And then if that happens, you're shit out of luck. Happens to UFC all the time. Guys are just too tough for their own good, and they're like, I'm not going to work on that. And then when it comes up, you know, when it's a rare occasion that this situation comes up, you have no idea what to do. Like, for instance, the back control. Like, I bet, you know, in EBI overtimes, we're always practicing back control. You know, someone gets your back, you know, you got to have good defense too. And I bet a lot of guys in UFC, their defense is terrible. You know, it could be like guys are getting their ass beaten or just giving up, but their back defense is terrible because they never practice it, because no one's ever on their back because they're in UFC. You know, they don't practice in the grind like in jiu-jitsu. Normal people have to just go in there. That's why you'll see dudes that are just like, you know, some hobbyist jiu-jitsu guys that can tap, you know, UFC level fighters, because they're just not doing the work. There's too much stuff to work on. So they're not doing the same amount of work in jiu-jitsu as like a guy who only trains jiu-jitsu. See what I'm saying? But you got to practice all the things that could come up. So you have to like engage your partner in that battle per se. You got to play that game. Like, play the game. You're in a dogfight, play the dogfight game, you know? Like, you know, you could just take them that, play the game a little bit, see what happens, see how deep in the transitions you can go, you know, because, you know, against Grace versus Maisa, she just kind of runs away the whole time. She backed her off the mat 10 times. The ref did give her a warning. So to me, like, she's not engaging in the fight. If she actually engaged Grace, she has to like trick her, like with some like, and not like a move, like I like moves that are like trick moves that work and trick the other person, but she has to like mentally, you know, let's wait 27 minutes into the match and then go for moves. Like, it's like, dude, why don't we just see who the best is? Why don't you just come at her 100% with whatever? You come in with a rule set or a move set, we come in with a move set, and you got your strength condition, your cardio, and most importantly, you got your brain and the techniques that you practice and your coaches went over with you, and you know the way you know the type of person you are, that's what you're going to go for. And let's meet in the middle and fight it out and see who's the best. Let's cut this running away bullshit or playing playing the outside. I'm going to play the corners. Or like Grace has to work you in all the time. It's like, I'm going to wait till 3 minutes left and then explode and then win the match. It's like, why are you playing games? We came all the way to Texas. You know, I left my son for a week and Grace came here trying to win, put in a lot of hard work. Why you got to play fucking games? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, and no, granted, Maesa is a beast. She's got great coaches. You know, shout out to Junie. You know what I mean? And shout out to Murillo Santana. Love those guys. But listen, if they can't admit that she's playing a game, then, you know, I don't know what you guys are looking at. You know, you have to look at that and say, okay, you won the game. You know, you won this game. And that's partially I'll take part blame for it. And we were yelling to Grace, like, you know, she's going to explode the last minute or two. But I should have even went over that even more than before. Because then it's less about moves and it's more about gamesmanship. And I applaud gamesmanship, but also annoying. You know, it's like, just fight it out. Let's see who's the best with whatever you got. Go at them. Like, sure, you have to play some strategies. Like, I'm not going to let her do this, or I'm not going to let her do that, or I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to impose my will, or I'm going to try to pass her. Grace just takes whatever. She's like, all right, you want me to pass? I'll pass. All right, you want it to good. I'm down the bottom. Fine, I'll just do whatever. She's good at all moves. And I'm not saying Maesa isn't. I'm just saying we see what you're doing, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I would rather have her come out, because if Grace loses, I don't want her to lose on some like positional, you know, bullshit technicality thing or whatever. I want her to lose. Like, if someone beats her, beat her. That's what I'm saying. And then we'll be happy afterwards. It's like, whatever. Okay, you armbarred her. Good one. You heel hooked her. Awesome. No one else has been able to do that. You'll become a star, as opposed to, yeah, you won the money, but everybody hates you. You know, except for the people who not hate you, but most people dislike you because of your style. You have 0% submission rate, you know, so people are going to be like, that's annoying and boring, you know, and even the people that, you know, not people that I don't even know said that shit is boring. You know, they don't want to see that. They want to see Grace be trying to throw twizzlers at people, or they want to see someone try to take Grace. She did try to take Grace's back in the beginning, so that was cool. But then it was 25 minutes of wasted time. So I know it sounds like I'm bitching, and she did. Look, she won the match fair and square. She deserves the W on that one, because that's the game. You know, that's the game that we're playing in that one. That goes to EBIOTs. What do you think happens? Grace starts on her back. What do you think happens on that one? I bet Grace chokes her out, you know, but we won't know unless they both do EBI. So, but I do appreciate her, because she is what's going to make us better and smarter and just going to make us work harder. That's all, you know? So, there's that. But yeah, shout out to everybody at Who's Number One, Austin, Texas. Damn, we had some good times on there. It was fun. How many guys could do Mark? You know, obviously JM was there. Laura was there, obviously. Mary Jo, Grace's mom. Fucking Preet was there. Devin was there. His girl was there. Will was there. His girl was there. They're getting married like next week. Who else was there? Preet, I said that. Dev, Ross showed up. Fucking Lucia was there. Freaking, you know, and then all the people that we know from that area. It was just so dope. Mike Henninger showed up. We were riding around on scooters and shit. You know, me and Sid had a good time. You know, his parents let him travel with us and stuff, so it was really cool. You know, we walked around late at night. Like, it was freaking crazy. People are, you know, watching all the people in Austin drinking and stuff. You know what? Someone says something funny. You know what the coolest part about Austin is? It's pretty close to Texas. Someone said that shit. I like that. I like those little ones. Like, what was the other one? Don't California up my Texas. That was a good one too. But yeah, shout out to Texas. Everything's open. Oh, how about this? Alex Jones. Did I tell you about this? Alex Jones showed up to, with Eddie Bravo, showed up to Who's Number One, which was awesome. I'm glad I looked at my notes so I can cover that. But yeah, he showed up to Who's Number One. We got a picture with him. People attacked me on Instagram for taking a picture with Alex Jones.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, they're like,
they obviously don't know you.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck? Why would anyone, like, I was like, oh, cool,
unfollow me
to meet him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not friends with the guy. I don't fucking know him. You know what I mean? He just walked in. I took a picture with him. Whatever, man. So haters gonna hate. Woo. I did call the person. I'm like, the guy was like, or it was a woman who like called me out on Instagram, and I wrote back to her that she was a reptilian humanoid. So burn.
Best way to handle
that. But then in the match, so during the match between Grace and Maesa, she goes, or Alex Jones, because Murillo's voice is so deep. Like Murillo Santana, I love that guy. We've been to Unity a bunch of times. He's a really good dude, but his voice is like this. Hello, Zachary. Hello, Grace. Good luck tonight. You know, that's how he is. But he just has that voice. It's an iconic voice. If you hear him, like if I had my eyes closed and you heard his voice, I'd be like, that's Murillo. Everybody knows his voice, right? And that's like that guy Kyle Terra. He talk like this. He got a real low voice, you know? I'm like, I can't even. It's like the lowest, mousiest voice there is. Murillo, exact opposite. Deep voice, you know? And during the match, because he was coaching, Boa, yes, me, sir, whatever. And Alex Jones goes, I'm Count Dracula. So he heckles the fucking finals match for $30K. And people are yelling, during the matches, they're going, they didn't do it during Grace's match, but during the other matches, they were like, fuck Joe Biden. They were starting to chant.
So awesome.
And then Murillo goes, I will say it in English, suck my dick. So like literally $30K is on the line. And I never would have pictured this, that I'm coaching Grace with JM and Eddie Bravo. I never would have pictured I'm coaching anyone with Eddie Bravo, but Eddie's behind me. We just saw Grace pull off a fucking twister the day before. Or was that, the day before. And Grace is competing right now for $30K against, the best girl in the world. And Alex Jones is heckling the match. Like if someone told me like, yo, that's the type level of shit that's going to be going down, I would have never, ever pictured that. Like, I mean, even before I just knew about Eddie Bravo, I never would have thought I'd be reffing the Emerald City and he's in the crowd heckling me while I'm reffing it, and it's for $10,000. You know what I mean? So it's like I never would have, and it's his rule set. So it's like EBI rules, and he's heckling the match, and I'm reffing it, and I'm one of his black belts. I'm like, dude, I never would have pictured this. That's, and you want to act like if the finish is as good at EBI rules, that's what level you need to be at. You need to be 150 milligrams deep, reffing a match in a mask. You know what I mean? And dudes are trying to kill each other on the mats at Emerald City. They're trying to shut the venue down, and Eddie Bravo's in the crowd heckling you. That's where you need to be at, bro. I don't think you can handle it. I think you would fold under the pressure. Me, I'm like, I'm right where I need to be, bro. Let's do this. And he's like, how much time is left, Zach? Let's go. I'm like, dude, quiet. Let me handle this. But yeah, we're going to be throwing an Emerald City qualifier. This time it's a 185-pound division, so that's going to be pretty dope. Let me just check my notes real quick so I can see what else. Thank you to everybody. Thanks, Mike Sears. Thanks, everybody, Flow Grappling. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Thor, for getting us there once again. ADCC, can't wait for that to come up. Like I said, EBI is back, Finisher 7. Finishers Open 7, November 21st. And I covered the Ric Flair woo off, so that's good. But yeah, Mike, I'm glad to be back. I like being away, but I hate being away at the same time, because I feel like so much stuff gets unattended to. But it's good to go away sometimes because I feel like it lets you know how important things are. You miss things, when you're away. You're like, shit, man, I got it good. Especially when you go down to Austin and you walk by Crack Alley and there's like literally the Terminator of crackheads coming at you. You're like, at home's pretty cool. It's not as bad as
my small town
Crack Alley. It literally looked like a bomb went off in this one alley and people were just like smoking crack in the back. And they're like, oh, you think it's cool if you guys smoke joints on the out front of the hotel? I'm like, dude, I just walked by an alley where someone was probably killed on the ground. Like, who knows? It was nuts over there. And like, I saw some crazy shit. I'm like, I think they're fine. I just saw an article too that said the Austin police are going to stop responding to misdemeanors. Like, what is that? Like misdemeanor assault? Like someone beat your ass. They're like, I'm good on it.
Figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure out, hey, sign up for jiu-jitsu. You do it now. Do it now. FinishersMMA.com. Shout out to Armbar Club. Armbar Club sponsored Grace's trip, along with Cruise Combat. But Ted from Armbar Club, he's Grace's main sponsor, and he designed the rash guard for her that she wore at Who's Number One, which is really sick. We might have to release that rash guard or something like that. I'm gonna ask him about that because people really like that one. We'll just take Grace's name off the back. It's got the USA flag on it. Stuff those, dude. That shit came out, and then shout out to Ryan and all the guys over at Cruise Combat. They printed up a whole bunch of stuff for Grace, like within a week, sent it out to her. They actually did Junie stuff, like they're doing a whole bunch of people's stuff. They're killing it. Lewis's stuff, cruisecombat.com. You can get your own shit going with them. You can go to shopfinishers.com. You can get all the Cruise Combat stuff that we sell through us, so you can do that. We got some 10 Planet Allentown stuff. I'm going to be putting up some 10P Miami stuff. There's always shit up there. We're doing our best to try to get orders out. Excuse me. We got Ted designing a whole bunch of stuff. Shout out to Sabrachi Jewelry. Shout out to who did I miss? I said, Rubber Guard Assassins. Obviously, they sponsor Grace too. So if you look at Grace's rash guard, you see the Rubber Guard Assassins logo on there. So that's really cool. Those guys are the man. Just everybody that we've been messing with, man, to really help us get to this level is pretty insane. Like, I forget the type of respect that people give us in the game, and that's all we wanted, and we got it. And dude, that's cool. Now I'm just happy. I'm gonna keep plugging away here at the dojo, keep teaching kids class, keep teaching adults advanced class, and just trying to put everybody on. I think that's one of the main things that I need to do is I need to just keep putting people on. Like, I put myself on for a long time. I'm going to keep doing that because I got to make dough, right? I got to sell these DVDs. I got kids to feed, but I got to just keep putting people on because every time I put someone on, it comes back to me tenfold. And you might not believe that shit, but, I do, and it seems to be working out for me. So, once again, Zach's Corner Podcast is back. Appreciate all you guys. Shout out to Mike, Never Again Radio, Never Again Studio Kitchen. Check that shit out. Dude, hit me up, and appreciate you guys being back. Peace.